The White House is warning Syria's president if he chooses to use chemical weapons again, the U.S. will respond swiftly and appropriately. It comes after a barrage of airstrikes in northern Syria. Humanitarian groups say Russia is to blame for the bombings, which have killed at least 5 children. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby has more from the State Department. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. The airstrikes come just hours after a warning directly from President Donald Trump to Russia, who supports the Syrian government. Russia is not taking responsibility for the airstrikes, but they're dismissing the president's words, and that has State Department officials here worried about what Russia and Syria could do next. At least 30 airstrikes hit the last major rebel stronghold in Syria. They have forced activist groups like the White Helmets into action. The local humanitarian organization reports 12 civilians were injured, and they're worried they may find more among the rubble.
This could be one of the worst things we've seen coming out of Syria.
Middle East expert Jim Phillips says the bombings could be the beginning of yet another humanitarian crisis for the region. For weeks, Syrian government forces have been building troops around the rebel-controlled area called Idlib in preparation for an assault.
This military operation in Idlib is going to occur among hundreds of thousands of civilians. Many of them are going to get killed, and they have very few places to flee to for safety.
Russia is waging an air campaign on behalf of Syrian President Bashar Assad, who is also backed by Iran. On Monday, President Trump issued a warning, tweeting, "President Bashar al-Assad of Syria must not recklessly attack Idlib province. The Russians and Iranians would be making a grave humanitarian mistake to take part in this potential human tragedy. Hundreds of thousands of people could be killed. Don't let that happen." Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov dismissing President Trump's warning, calling Idlib a hornet's nest of terrorists. The United States is concerned Assad may use chemical weapons, as he has multiple times in the past. Pope Francis is pressing for negotiations. On Sunday, the Holy Father called on all sides to use diplomacy and dialogue. We are also learning tonight Israel is carrying out air raids against the Syrian government and military installations. The Syrian state media reports Israeli jets fired missiles on several facilities in the western and central part of the country. An independent monitoring group says one of those installations belongs to Iran. Lauren.
Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reporting from the State Department. Thank you, Wyatt.